Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's PCCS emPower Hour, where we have members of the community coming together to help reconfigure humankind. My name is Alyssa DeGusto, and with us is our lovely co-host, Mr. Kevin Roman.
Good morning.
And today we have some really exciting guests. Here with us today, we have Shanice.
Hi, good morning.
Julie and Jill. And
Hi.
Melissa. So thank you guys for joining us. If you guys want to give a little quick introduction before we get started.
Yeah, sure, I'll go. So my name is Shanice Wilson. I'm one of the FI coordinators in our department, FI standing for Fiscal Intermediary Coordinators. I've been in the department for about 3 years now, and I'm just here today to talk about more services and supports that our department can offer.
And my name is Melissa Chapman. I'm the program manager of self-directed supports. I oversee the Fiscal Intermediary Department as well as the agency brokerage department. And I've been with the agency since about, I want to say 2016. And yeah, so here I am.
Good. My name is Jill. I'm 22 years old and I have Asperger's syndrome.
And I am Jill's mom, Julie. I am here to give some advice, or what's the word I want? To let you all know how self-direction actually helped my daughter.
We're so happy to have you, and we want to thank you all for joining us today and taking some time out to have these conversations. So we want to thank you again for coming.
No problem.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thanks, guys. I guess when we are talking about this, let's start from scratch. I mean, Shanice, do you want to explain what fiscal intermediary even means exactly and what your role is?
Well, yeah, Fiscal Intermediary, it's a department in our agency where pretty much that we have a program called Self-Direction. The Fiscal Intermediary, we are pretty much the employers of records. So we keep in track of the monthly expenditure reports. The people we support are approved of a certain amount of money in their budget, which is they get approved by this amount from their DDP2 scores. And then we just keep in track of the monthly expenditures. Like I said, we pay staff, we do the background checks for the staff. We make sure that the hours for staff that they're staying on track for the hours they're working. And also we make sure that we're in compliance on a day-to-day basis with all the paperwork that's required with self-direction. For my day-to-day operations, I pretty much oversee about a caseload of 75 now. I respond to emails on a daily basis. That's with the designees and the staff if they reach out to me. I also approve and review amended budgets when they're submitted to the department. We do payroll on a weekly basis or daily basis. We make sure the checks are cut for the staff. We review invoices, FI coordinators. We also stay in compliance with the brokers, making sure that they're submitting their staff action plans, and pretty much making sure that the care managers as well are submitting their life plans and their level of care documents to us as well.
They do it all.
Well,
Yeah.
I think one thing that Shanice did hit on was the corporate compliance aspect. So a lot of the times we do tell families that we are kind of like the corporate compliance officer, making sure that, because these are Medicaid and state funds that we are, reimbursing to the families for community classes and things of that nature. So sometimes we become hard, but it's, obviously for a reason, making sure all their T's are crossed and all their I's are dotted in all aspects of their plan.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Melissa, can you tell us a little bit about what your role entails in this machine?
It's where do I start? So I oversee, like I mentioned earlier, the FI department, the Fiscal Intermediary department. So I basically help Shanice and the rest of the team with any supports that they need to do their day-to-day. Making sure that staff are working appropriately, and just kind of being there and support them in, like I said, in any way possible. On the other hand, I also do agency brokerage. So I have a caseload of 25. I have an assistant who's wonderful, who is helping me basically manage their plan. So I write budgets for them. I do the staff action plan on the broker side, and basically, be that support on the other side of, developing their plan, their person-centered plan with them. So I do it pretty much all, I want to say.
Okay.
But yeah.
Now you had mentioned something about brokerage. Can you talk a little bit about brokerage versus FI versus self-direction? There's a lot that just kind of like came out of this. So
Okay,
I'm coming from no knowledge whatsoever. What am I looking at?
So self-direction is the entire program where people, want to participate in. There are the sub-hubs, I guess you could say, are the fiscal intermediary and the brokerage sub-hub. Fiscal intermediary is, again, like the corporate compliance officer. Everything has to run through them before someone could get reimbursed or staff could be processed or paid out. Whereas an agency broker, they're helping kind of develop that plan for them, reviewing their budgets, reviewing their staff action plan in the sense of making sure it meets the life plan. So kind of their assistant in managing their self-direction services, if you look at it that way. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. And so Jill, you want to talk a little bit about how you got involved with us?
Well, my mom kind of like really took over like basically my life, and
Mom,
and my mom
We do that.
My mom helped me through it. Like, my mom helped me. So
Okay, cool.
I don't know.
She doesn't know the process
Yeah,
of
Jill,
what.
do you want to talk a little bit about more of the details?
Yeah. This was brought to me by a friend. And I was explained that I had to go through the front door. That's what they call it. It's a meeting that you go and they explain what the parents' obligations are, what self-direction is. There I did meet a care manager from Modest at the time. Now they're Tri-County. They got me her Medicaid waiver. They did a lot, they actually helped me through the process. Mm-hmm. I had to obtain a broker, as Melissa said, and that broker recommended PCCS as my fiscal intermediary. And we've been doing this for 6 years, and it's been the best experience for her. It has helped her tremendously with what she wants to do with her life. And PCCS, I'm telling you honestly, has got me through a lot. A lot. And they have really, really helped me and Jill. And I thank God every day for this company because it's like family to me. I'm sorry.
A little background for all our viewers. I promise you, we didn't put her up to this at all.
No, not at all. I watched Jill from the age of 15. Well, no, 16.
Or like 13.
Well, whatever. I don't want to sound old, but yeah, I watched her grow through this program, and she is a different person now. And it actually is giving her the opportunity to fulfill her dreams because all she wants to do is sing. So, oh, yeah. Yeah. So Jill has records that she's releasing and they teach her. Yeah, Alyssa, it's amazing. Yeah.
You saw my face. Where can we get a little taste of that?
I lost you. Jill, we made her an Instagram. We made her a YouTube. We put her on Spotify. She's never been able to put her feelings on paper. Now, learning how to songwrite is amazing because it helps her get everything out. So she really is doing very, very well with this program.
That sounds awesome. Jill, where can we follow you on Instagram?
You can follow me at Jillian Ferrara Music.
Yeah, she's a rock star now.
When you're a celebrity, yeah, you have to, right?
At Jill Ferrara
Jillian Ferrara Music.
Wow, that's awesome. Jill, do you
And
feel like that's? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. And I was going to say, just because I've been, with the agency since 2016 and know Julian and Jill, I've even seen, a confidence from the first time I met her to today. I don't think 6 years ago she would have even been okay with this and being part of this, meeting right now. So I commend you on that.
It takes a lot of courage to come up onto a Facebook Live.
Yes.
We say it every week.
Yes.
We've been doing this now for over 2 months, and each
still.
time my palms are still sweating and still stumbling over our words. So it's amazing, and we really thank every person that comes onto these shows because we know that we're really out of your comfort zone. So you guys really are incredible. So,
Well, this is good. This is
really
good practice for her.
That's it. But Jillian, we're going to definitely follow you all on social media.
Thank you.
For sure.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, I want to take a little side turn on this. So, Jill, what are your biggest ambitions with singing? Where do you want to take singing? How far are we going? Are we going to be a celebrity?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Tell them where you want to perform.
I want to perform at Madison Square Garden one day.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
right. I love it. I love it.
You heard it all here first, folks.
Yes,
That's right.
Just an autograph. That's it. Just an autograph. That's all we need. No problem. So I guess when we're veering a little back to the hey, there you go.
There you go.
Thank you.
We're gonna get you famous, Jill. Don't worry. Don't worry.
You're going to be in Madison Square Garden before you know it.
So veering a little back on the program side, for Shanice and Melissa, now in the transition with COVID, did you feel like you guys had to drastically change the program? Was there a lot of hurdles to overcome, or was it more of a seamless transition than expected? Either one of you could kind of jump in.
You want to jump in? Go.
I'll just say my little tad bit. It wasn't so much a drastic. Now that you see, I'm working from home remotely. I do go in one day a week. It was kind of a challenge for pretty much the families because, let's start here. I wasn't familiar with telehealth prior to COVID. And I'm happy that's an option that was provided to the families to use during this time because, as you know, these families, they still have work to do. And some families are not comfortable with the staff coming into their house due to the pandemic and everything going on. So that was a wonderful option that we was able to roll out to other families that was approved for that. Another thing is it wasn't too drastic. I feel like I'm more hands-on now with the families, which I don't mind. I feel like I'm doing a lot more check-ins and just making sure like how's everything is going, how's this person's doing throughout the day, do you need more supports, how can we assist you, and so on and so forth. So I think it even though the situation of what happened with COVID-19, I think it bettered us as a department to be more hands-on and there and provide as much support as we could for the families.
Yeah, I kind of want to second that. The other thing is, obviously community classes and memberships and things of that nature. More so community classes have been done virtually now because of COVID. And I think, with a lot of our participants that we do support, they love their routines. They love the classes they go to and the peers that they, connect with. So being able to do that virtually, it's not the same, but at the same time, it gives them that little bit of sense of hope. To still connect with their peers. So that's been a wonderful thing due to COVID. And if you could think of anything else that's wonderful out of this whole situation, right? But yeah, so I mean, it hasn't been a drastic change. Like Shani said, most of us are working from home. We do come in one day a week. We're still, performing just like we would do, in the office. So on our administrative end, it's not anything that really has changed. But besides, doing a little bit more of the check-in, having a little bit more time to do those things. But the families, I think, having the schedule and trying to really fill in those gaps maybe have, a harder time, obviously due to COVID.
Yeah. Do you guys, Julie and Jill, you want to talk a little bit about, has COVID affected how you guys have received services? Has everything kind of transitioned well? Or how have you guys been dealing with COVID?
Like in the beginning, like COVID, like hit me really hard because I used to have the freedom of going out of the house, going to classes, stuff like that. And then it just stopped because of all that, and we had a little quarantine. But as the days went on, I like got used to it. It was hard, like because sometimes like other elements of my life would take part of my my life in general, but I've always like said, well, I have to push through it anyway. So I just dusted myself off, got back up, and did my classes virtually.
I have to tell you, the classes that she takes, it's very hard to learn virtually. Okay. And it's very hard to actually record yourself and not know how to do that. So Jillian at this point has a mini recording studio in her room. And the first time she recorded in my pantry, in my kitchen, because it couldn't have no echoes, because she was not letting COVID.
I wasn't basically letting COVID stop my dreams. I was basically saying, like, I'm going to push through and just do what I have to do.
Good. That's really awesome.
Wow, that's great. Julie, do you think that as a parent, how is the process of getting self-directed services? Was it overwhelming at first? Was there a lot to take in? I mean, I'm coming from a place of being in the field for a while, and I feel like FI self-directed. Help me out a little bit with that one.
Unicorn department.
It wasn't that overwhelming. It really wasn't. But now you're going back 6 years ago. Things have changed from then to now, but I feel that if you have a staff that helps you and guides you through, believe me, it's a very easy process. There are people that they don't have that, and it can be overwhelming at times. There's a lot to learn when you're going in it and you know nothing. Now that we're in this 6 years, I have learned a lot, and I thank God because I've learned from Melissa. Because Melissa was Jill's FI at one point. I've learned from Michelle. I learned from Sasha, and now I'm learning from Shanice, and I learned from Jill's broker. So, it's a lot to learn, and it's not as difficult as everybody makes it to be. I have to say, Aviro was a very scary thing for me, but they had classes, they taught us, and you learn as you go.
Well, I think the main thing that you hit on is basically having the good support team. So
Yeah.
if you have the great care, like you have an awesome care manager who could walk you through the steps, making
Right.
sure you go through the front door, making sure you are waiver enrolled in the sense of, having all those qualifications met by Office for People with Development of Disabilities, OPWDD. And as long as you, have that good first step done, the second step, making sure you're interviewing, brokers and, making sure that they have a good working relationship and whatnot, and the same thing with the FIs. So as long as your circle support team is, spot on, the plan and the process is very simple.
As a parent, you're the boss, like, you have to make all these decisions, and you have to actually interview people and make sure they fit in your little circle and what's going to be best for Jill at that point. So, and I thank God every day I have a great team. I do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the benefits with self-direction where the families do have the choice. They have the option to hire their own staff. Whereas traditional they're granted a staff from the agency, they can hire a family member, a neighbor, whoever they
Right.
choose to hire to be the staff working with the person they're going to be supporting. So that's one of the great benefits of self-direction.
Yep, they're steering the ship.
Yes.
Yep.
Very nice, guys. Very nice. So I guess for Melissa and Shanice, I am watching this Facebook Live. I'm a parent. I'm watching this Facebook Live. I said, wow, self-direction sounds like this would be for me. What's my next step?
Speaking with your care manager. Your care manager should be your first step. Making sure that you're, like I said, waiver enrolled, making sure you're Medicaid funded. And then if you are looking to self-direct, then reaching out to the self-direction liaisons within the state to get a broker list. There are millions of people on that list, so you definitely want to, like Jillian and Jill said, you want to definitely interview that person, make sure that it's a good fit and working relationship with you. And then once you have an established broker, they'll tell you kind of the next steps with, signing on with the fiscal intermediary coordinator, agency rather, and kind of developing that plan. So, the whole process is not going to happen overnight. It does take some time. I usually tell families anywhere from that first initial letter that says, hey, your broker could, start creating your plan with you. I tell them about 6 months. I have seen it come back, sooner, but you never know with COVID and what's kind of going on at the DZRO level, if it will come back, quicker or later. Just that whole process. So it is, it's an easy process, again, with that great circle support team.
Okay. And Julie, do you have any additional tips, advice for any parents watching right now, or anybody that's still unsure of what whether or not self-direction is good for them or what their next steps are?
I couldn't hear what he was saying.
Oh, okay. No, I was just saying, do you have anything for any other parents that are watching? Any advice, tips, anything that you, as a parent, would want to have heard?
I just think that you have to be careful and you have to understand self-direction. You have to be able to educate yourself in every way possible. There are so many things that I've learned. I went to brokers meetings like to understand everything. But that's me as a parent. Some parents don't want to know everything there is to know about self-direction. I do. I think it's a great program. I feel that my case manager at the time, she was great, Susan. She walked me through everything. So, and then, getting me into PCCS. The only thing I can say is that I don't know if PCCS is opening up any more, accepting any more cases. But I am the first one to say, if somebody says to me, where should I go and what should I do? I give them their number and I tell them to call because they really are. It's like they're my family and they help me through a lot. So I feel that, they will help whoever they can possibly help. Tip wise, it's just paying attention and learning. You have to learn everything there is to know.
Yeah, like you have to. You're hiring staff. You're hiring a broker. We as the FI could assist you finding those community classes, but it's really up to you as the person who's receiving the service to enroll in those classes and really find those experiences and really kind of do a lot more research. So we could gear you and steer you in a certain way, but you're the really one that has to take the control.
Because believe me, I had to hire staff. I knew nothing of what I was doing. Nothing. And I hired some doozies in the beginning, but I have to say, I learned, you learn as you go. And I thank God now that, she's 22, she could actually speak for herself. And it's all about learning for them to live on their own and living skills and things like that. And it's working.
Yep. Well, like I said before, steering the ship in the sense of making sure that you are committed to this, because it is you kind of doing and all the services. It's not leaving it up to the agencies anymore.
Yeah.
It's a job.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the families that in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I like that, in the driver's seat.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I guess in the same vein, with that responsibility comes that kind of very tailored approach for whatever it is that your family or advocate needs. Getting them the staff that works best for them and everything.
Right. So that's what makes it person-centered, right? And making it that plan is just for that person, not for necessarily, me, everyone that's on this call. So it's tailored to the individual, what the individual loves, and like Jillian is living out her dream by going to community classes and learning how to sing and write songs. So it's things like that normally someone wouldn't be able to pay for, that the thing that self-direction is being able to be reimbursed for. Obviously, again, the FI is that corporate compliance officer, so there's guidelines that we have to follow to make sure it's that community class regulation. But it's a wonderful program as long as you put time and energy into it. If you just kind of let people do, or your broker or your FI kind of do it for you, you're not going to get or benefit anything out of it.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of you again steering that ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the parents that are more hands-on, then taking control of the budget, get like the most out of self-direction. So they just have to be willing to be in that driver's seat and drive that car.
I actually have a question as far as the community classes go. I've had a lot of outreach come towards me asking, how can people in the community become involved and become spaces to be community classes, whether they be their own self-made businesses? How do they become part of that vendor process with self-direction?
So it's really kind of, they have to be open to the public. They can't just gear it towards people with self-direction. They have to have, anyone could attend. I could attend, Jillian could attend. It doesn't matter just because you have a disability. It's just for that person. And the rates have to be the same across all avenues. It can't be specified because of self-direction. So it's, that mom and pop shop down the block, if they are providing dance services and, someone we support is willing to go to that dance studio, they just kind of let their FI know, and, we then approve them, as long as, again, qualification. So it can't be like OPWDD runs by staff or on the grounds. It has to be open to the public. There has to be published fees, so like a website or flyers of some sort. So those are how things happen. And Staten Island's small, so everyone kind of talks to everyone. And Facebook, there's a self-direction Facebook group. So there's always people sharing information there with classes that they found. So that's how it goes about it. So just kind of putting your name out there, seeing if someone that we support is interested in attending your class. And if they are, they provide that resources to the FI, and we say whether or not it meets the qualifications.
Very cool. Actually, so Jill, we have a question, so I want to give you a little bit of attention. What inspires you to write song lyrics and music?
Well, sometimes they're like personal things that have either happened to me in the past, or just basically overall like how I'm feeling. Like that's like the number one tip that I've had given to me, like write about what's going on in your life, or write about what you've been through.
Nice.
So that's basically where all my inspiration comes from.
That's incredible. How long have you been doing this? How long have you been singing and songwriting? As long as we can remember.
I've been singing since I'm about 9 or 10.
Yeah.
9 or 10. And songwriting, I kind of just got into that.
That's awesome.
Jill works with a man that heard her story, and he works with Pitbull.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, Alyssa's
And he heard her story, and he said, I'm going to work with her, and I'm going to do whatever I can to help her. And if it wasn't, look, he does a lot. He pushes her, and that's what she needs. So she would never, like I said before, would never write anything down on paper. He has made her do this now.
Right at a computer.
When I tell you the song that she wrote, it's called The Real Me. If you were to hear it, you would cry. That's how beautiful it is. So when it finally comes out, I will definitely send it to you. But it is absolutely beautiful, and she wrote every word of it. No help, no nothing. Yeah.
Incredible. That is so incredible. So who are some artists that give you that inspiration, Jill?
Oh God.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. That's right. Bette Midler. There's a singer that I follow that's in the rock world. Patty Russo. She's a big inspiration to me. Barbara Streisand.
Jill's an old soul.
I'm an old soul.
Love that. Love that.
And Patty Russo was with Meatloaf, the girl that sang with Meatloaf.
For like,
Jill loves her.
I love her.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
The news today. That's incredible. So do you have a favorite artist that you could like see yourself being similar to?
Oh. Similar to.
Similar to. I don't really know. I really don't, because I could sing pop, but then I could sing rock. So it's like I don't know.
Yeah, if you were to hear her, she could sing Pat Benatar, like you would close your eyes and you would think it's Pat Benatar.
Yeah.
But then, then she can go sing Ariana Grande and hit whistle notes. So it's just a whole mixture of,
That's great. We have a comment. What about Bruce Springsteen?
Oh, he's great.
Tell Chris what your favorite song is with Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, Santa Claus is coming to town.
Amazing.
I love it. I love it. So we want to, thank you for sharing that story. We're at our agency. We're really working really at our members of our PCCS family coming together and telling us their story and sharing that story. So, I want to thank you for having that confidence and just, coming here. And I'm not going to put you on the spot and make you sing for us as much as I would love to.
You going to sing for them?
If you guys want me to.
I mean,
love that.
we're not going to, I'm not no.
Please.
It would be great, to be honest.
All right.
Okay.
What should I sing?
What do you want to sing?
I don't know. What should I sing?
Do you want her to sing a cover, or do you want her to sing a part of her song that's not released yet?
That is completely up to you. If you want to save the release for when it finally happens,
I'll save the release.
You saved the release?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
you could sing Evanescence. You could sing Pat Benatar. You could sing it.
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to take this out while she sings because she hurts my ear.
We're running with the shadows of the night. So baby, take my hand, it'll be alright. Surrender all your dreams to me tonight. We'll come true in the end.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh my God. Well, you guys heard it here first. Don't forget to follow at Julian Ferrara Music. Hold on, I got it. There we go. Do not forget.
Exactly.
When are you planning on releasing your new song?
Oh, they didn't discuss that yet.
Yeah.
She has about 4 or 5 songs that she's done so far. So now they have to pick which one they're going to actually go first with.
We're getting so many great comments and feedback on that little sneak peek you gave us from your voice. Like, oh my God. I didn't even know what else to say. Oh my God. We actually did get another question too. Are you interested in mentoring other artists? Like down the road?
I feel like I would be able to down the road once I learn a lot more and learn more about myself, but definitely not right now. Maybe when I'm like 50.
What?
50? Okay, maybe like 30.
You only got 8 more years, honey.
8 more years, so.
Oh, that's great.
Well, when you're on tour with Pitbull, please don't forget where you started, because I am going to be on that tour bus with you.
One part roast beef.
Yes, exactly. But thank you so much for sharing that.
No problem.
You're getting so many comments. They're amazing. Wow, chills. Chris grew up listening to Pat Benatar. Lori said she has chills too. And Alexa says that her brother does music and would love to connect you with him for a song.
Oh, wow.
There we go.
That would be great.
Yes.
And Chris agrees, don't wait until 50. The time is down. There's so much time, there's so much space in between. Amazing. So, with that said, guys, what's next? Where is this journey taking you?
I'll let you
No,
guys.
go ahead.
No, I was going to say the journey for, the FI department and the agency brokerage department is we're hoping to, provide the best quality service and be number one with all the FI and agency brokerage services out there. We have just opened the doors for Long Island, so we did start with that. So we offer services on the FI side for, all of New York City. 5 boroughs, Long Island, so hopefully expanding, to other counties and things of that nature and states. And then, the agency brokerage department, expanding that and just working on providing services to as many people as we possibly can.
Melissa,
Yeah.
You just mentioned the agency brokerage. Are you accepting brokers?
Not right now, I'm not hiring.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
But that's the long-term goal, is just to make it as big in PCCS as big as we can do it. So what happens in the near future?
I have to say, one thing that I like about PCCS is, well, there's many things, but one thing is that they do not accept everybody without being able to handle all of those caseloads. So, if they took everybody that went there and didn't have the proper staffing, then people's budgets and everything would just not work out right. And they actually, and this is a good thing and I'm very glad that they do this, because if your staff could handle, let's say, 200 cases, then if you take more, those people will suffer. And things don't get done the right way. And that is one thing I'm glad that they do. They put a hold on taking more cases so they could accommodate the people that they have.
I hear that.
Yeah.
And for Jill, what's the next move for you? Next step.
Hopefully, once COVID is over, I can start performing again and getting out there and just doing my dream, basically.
Love it. That's awesome. Also, Melissa, if I remember correctly, we just quick plug that we're hiring for an FI assistant. Am I speaking out of context or?
So we are opening up to hiring one FI coordinator as well as two FI assistants. So if you're interested in being part of the team, obviously feel free to apply. Apply, and we would, love to interview you for that position. So yeah.
So to our little website plug, you could
There you
visit
go.
www.org/join our team.
There you go. I was going to say Paycom, but I'm like, people don't know what that is.
I will put it up on the screen for everyone.
Oh, we also had Jill. We had somebody, Todd, mention. Do you have any music videos? Do you do music videos as well?
Yes, they're all on YouTube.
Perfect. Very cool.
Do you have a YouTube channel that's different than your other social media handle, or is it the same?
It just says Jillian Ferrari. You could just type it into YouTube under that, and my stuff will come up.
Very cool. That's awesome. So with that said, I want to thank you guys, all of you, for coming today. This has been such an incredible show. I have to say, I think this is probably the most chilling.
We learned what FI self-direction is, that Jill's going to be a famous star.
Exactly.
We should get our autographs now before she's out.
It's going to be worth millions. For sure. So we want to thank you guys again. Thank you again, Jillian, for giving us that amazing little taste of magic. I'm going to give you that special plug again. Don't forget to follow her at Jillian Ferrara Music. And we're looking really forward to seeing what comes next on your journey. And we would love to have you back. So I want to thank you guys again for coming. And I want to thank all of our viewers for taking your lunch break with us. And thank you again for joining us at PCCS's emPower Hour. And we'll see you next week.
Guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.